My video for October the 5th, 2018, which is video number 2865, is entitled, "We've All Been Seduced by False Promises." Whether it's a promise of true love, an easier life, great wealth, or heaven in some other dimension, most, if not all of us, have been lured into what, more often than not, ends up being a disappointment. Is this because we are born thinking optimistically? Or are we pre-programmed in some way? No matter what the reason, the actual truth of human experience is most often a letdown. Some, like me, seem to have had great expectations from early childhood. Mine, as I have said so many times, was to see the ushering in of a better world. I called it the kingdom of heaven on earth. I kept the faith for nearly 70 years, but actual experience began to wear on my faith. 2 open heart surgeries and the theft of my home by crooked bankers and attorneys finally managed to alter my perspective. If I could have been truly convinced that there would be pie in the sky and some sweet by and by, perhaps it would not have rocked my world, undermining the foundation upon which my life had been built. Unfortunately, my hopes were shattered as I was forced to reevaluate everything. I still have glimmers of hope, but these are challenged almost daily by witnessing world events and realizing that it's getting worse, not better on this our mother planet. Is the idea of a loving creator God a delusion? Is life really meaningless? You know, I have friends that share things with me from time to time. And I'm not the only one that is facing this quandary. I mean, I know of situations and the lives of personal friends and acquaintances that simply do not seem to make sense. And oftentimes, relationships get shattered. Of course, people do change, so that's not completely, it's not completely out of the way to realize that people do change, and sometimes they change in different directions. Sometimes people realize, hey, I'm with the wrong partner. Sometimes they may even think, I am with the wrong gender. I should be with my own gender instead of a different one. And all sorts of things creep into human experience. And I'm not about to judge people or to condemn people because of changes that happen in their lives and reevaluating and making new decisions. I would expect people, when things are going bad in a relationship or going bad on a job or going bad in general, to do the best we can to make what we hope to be positive changes. They don't always work out positively, but we at least are attempting to put the pieces of our lives together and to reach a point where we are finally happy. Is happiness to be our goal? Well, it certainly seems to make things easier during those periods in my life when I've been most happy. I have less challenges and things seem to be going smoothly, but I'm not as creative oftentimes in the periods where everything is going well as I am when things are being challenged. Challenge does seem to bring out greater creativity and greater willingness to explore and alter perspectives, even if a little bit at a time. We still alter perspectives. And that's part of being human, I think. However, the thing that really troubles me is that so much in the system is based on conforming to some mass hysteria, mind control, whatever you want to call it, where we're all supposed to believe the same thing. Well, that's not something that I want. I want For myself, I want to be able to find my own way and recognize values that, at least as far as I can tell, are relatively universal values, like being left alone when we're not hurting anybody. Now, you could say, and some might say, but Ron, you're always challenging the system. Isn't that hurting the people that want to keep the system in place? Well, if it's hurting them, perhaps it's because they are the ones that are the control freaks. They are the ones that want to get everyone to think the same, everyone to be on the same belief system, everybody to be on the same mindset, because it's easier that way if we were all the same than it would be if we were allowed real freedom to think outside the box, to explore life, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. There's the key. There's the key. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. I don't want to hurt anybody, but there are people that seem to have no qualms in hurting others. And I keep going back to the quote by Hillary Clinton, "We came, they died. What difference does it make?" I mean, I've played that quote so that it's memorized. And it makes a lot of difference. We came, they died. What difference does it make? My goodness, how callous can anyone become who thinks that if they hurt someone else, it's okay? It's not okay. I believe in letting Christians be Christians, and Muslims be Muslims, and Jews be Jews, and Buddhists and Hindus be Buddhists and Hindus, and atheists be atheists. It doesn't matter so long as we can live in relative harmony and as peacefully as possible, not violating the free will of other people, not trying to force our beliefs and our way of thinking on somebody else. That's what I have the most problem reconciling, because so much of the system, as we call it, so much of the system is based on the attempt for conformity. And you're conforming to people that don't seem to have moral values. They abuse children from the time that they're born. And many people are abused when they're born. I think circumcision can be a form of abuse. Now, I've seen pros and cons on why a circumcised person is healthier and cleaner than a non-circumcised person. But even a non-circumcised person, I'm sure, I'm circumcised, so I can't speak from personal experience on this, but I'm sure the genitals can be adequately cleaned, and they don't have to build up disease-forming particles or whatever, masses, in the uncircumcised part of the penis. But I don't mean to be talking about such things, but these are things that we face as human beings. What do we do? What do we do? Well, I would like there to be some kind of resolution that allows all humans to be truly free, to seek our own path, and to follow our own inner guidance and be told that there is such a thing as inner guidance. That's part of the problem. We get most of our guidance from out there. I'm not saying we shouldn't get any guidance from out there, but the most important guidance is from inside of us. Aren't you a person that believes that we should love one another? Don't you try your best to be truthful and honest in your dealings with other people? If you don't, you're part of the problem. And there needs to be repentance for that. There needs to be a turning around and a realization that that path is a path that leads us down a very dark path. Look at the world that we live in. That's where it has led. A world where there is mind control and all sorts of abuse of human rights and our natural propensity to love. I went over a little bit again, and I'm sorry for that, but I do appreciate you listening. Namaste.